welcome into Buckeye Friday. That's right, you've made it. The week is over. Congratulations. Thanks for taking some time today to hear me out as we do a pregame special about the Youngstown State Penguins. So YSU comes to town, and they are a powerhouse in the FCS. I do not expect them to be a huge contest for Ohio State, but here we are. So you've made it. Buckeye football is back. Buckeye football is here. I'm not bearing the lead once again. So it's kind of a crazy week for everybody. Following the Indiana game, I felt like people were really disappointed with a 20-point road win against a conference opponent. I'm not saying Indiana is a world beater. I know they had the 23-plus transfers come in. Kyle McCord looked average. I grade him at a C, and he'll get another start is what where I was leading up to with that. Ryan Day mentioned that Kyle McCord will get another start, and Devin Brown will also see time on the field again. So we'll start with score prediction. I think it's going to be 63-14 with a defensive score mixed in for Ohio State. I think there will also be a safety. I think that special teams for Ohio State makes a play and pins them deep, and we see a safety from, I'm going to say, Mike Hall Jr. So those are my bold predictions for the game. One of the things that I was asked on Twitter was, what Buckeyes am I most excited to see if/when the game gets out of hand in the second half? So offensively, Noah Rogers, Jaden Ballard, and Luke Montgomery come to mind, but I think my top guy is probably Jelani Thurman. I want to just see how he looks on the field I think he'll get an opportunity. He lost his black stripe early. A couple others, Tegra Shabola, Brandon Ennis, Lincoln Keenholtz. I think he'll have an opportunity to play in the late third or early fourth quarter. Wouldn't be surprised if people start clamoring for him once they see him. The South Dakota slinger. He's really quick, really mobile, got a cannon. So I wouldn't be surprised if people start saying, wow, what did we do and why aren't we playing him? So on and so forth. So, and then I would really love for Evan Pryor to get on the field. He's just missed so much time with injury, and I just feel bad for the kid, and I'd love to see him. And just because I feel like the guy deserves some run as a redshirt senior, Enoch Bamahi, I hope he gets to play some. Now, I left off like Carnell Tate and some of these other guys because those guys are going to see the field anyways. Same with Bryson Rogers. I think he'll start to see the field more, as the year goes on in some depth pieces. So, anyways, defensively, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing Gabe Powers, C.J. Hicks, of course. I put him on this list because he got one snap against Indiana. Jermaine Matthews and Jr. Arvell Reese is another one. Calvin Simpson-Hunt. Caden McDonald's one I'm really excited to see. Jason Moore, Kai Stokes, and maybe Will Smith Jr. I don't have Hartford and Curry and Kenyatta Jackson because they are starter adjacent players. They're going to see the field. These aren't second and third team players that we would be looking at in the 24 and 25 seasons. So that's kind of where I'm at with those guys and who I'm looking forward to seeing. What to expect from Youngstown State. Doug Phillips coached at UC under Coach Fickle. He's an offensive coach. He coached tight ends. He coached special teams. YSU returns 9 starters on offense. They averaged 28.5 points in 2022. Who to watch? They have a first-team all-conference wide receiver in Bryce Oliver. He's a real deal, folks. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't end up either transferring at the end of the year. If he has, I think he's a junior, or in the NFL at some point. And they also have a second-team all-conference defensive end, Dylan Woodkey. We'll see how Jimmy/Josh Simmons does against him. What to watch for? Mitch Davidson is a senior quarterback. He started the final 7 games last year in 2022. He has a 5-2 record. Youngstown State also returns 4 starters on the offensive line. how nice would that be, right? Like, what a great thing to have. Tyshawn King takes over in the backfield. He's a transfer from D2 Northern Michigan. They lost their running back last year. He is now playing for the Denver Broncos, I believe. The good news is they probably won't be running the triple option. So I do expect them to try to run the ball and chew into some clock so that the game doesn't get too crazy out of hand, but we'll see what happens. YSU does have 8 defensive players returning that have started 6 or more games. Now, I don't know if that's bad or good because they were 42nd in the FCS in points per game allowed in 2022. Things I did notice that, Dylan Wudke coming back is probably big. Anthony Johnson and Devin Lee, both on the interior, they both weigh over 300 pounds. They're like 315 pounders, so they're big guys. They combined for 11 starts last year. And then something that I thought was really odd is Quincy Lenton, and it might just be the structure of their defense, is their starting safety, and he led the team with 51 tackles last year. So not sure if that's good or bad. Usually it's bad if your safety leads the team in tackles unless you're, a Sonny Styles down in the box a lot. For Ohio State on offense, what I'm looking for and what I want to see is cohesiveness on the offensive line. Like what happened is fixable, it's coachable. That looked like there was just confusion and game speed and first time playing together type stuff. They can learn and grow from that. It can be coached out of them. I expect Chip Trainum to have a pretty good day. I hope Trey Henderson does too. I hope I'm wrong about his vision and his unwillingness to cut back into the middle. I do expect a heavy dose of the passing game. I think that they're going to sling it around. I think they're going to give McCord a few options to read option runs just to get, show it. And I'd like to see him air it out a little bit. I think they'll have at least 4 touchdowns throwing, probably 3 to a wide receivers and 1 to a tight end. And I wouldn't mind seeing them drop a few screen passes or pop passes in there too. As you know, I've been kind of clamoring for the pop pass to come back. Lastly, I would love to see it, and they might do it, maybe they won't. I want to see some 10 personnel or 0 personnel. So 10 personnel being 4 wides and 1 tight end and or running back, or go 5 wides with the 0 personnel because of the talent we have. Just spread them out and let McCord sling it around to those really talented wide receivers. So defensively, I want more of the same. Sound gap assignment football, consistent tackling, flying to the football, downhill, aggressive with no hesitation. No plays over 20 yards. Let's keep that to a minimum. Players I'm watching this week, I picked 3, technically 4, I guess. Lathan Ransom, because I just want him to continue to play well and keep everything in front of him. I thought he did a good job of that last week. Even though they didn't throw the ball a lot, I thought, the couple downfield throws they did make, he was in position and he was covering the deep middle and nothing got behind him, and that's important. Denzel Burt, can he stay with Bryce Oliver? Obviously, FCS and FBS a little bit different talent level sometimes, but I want to see him continue his comeback campaign with consistency. Sonny Styles, I'm excited to see because I just want to see how many different places he lines up. And can we please, please, please have him do a blitz off the edge, because I think that would be phenomenal. And lastly, Jack Sawyer, really in my eyes, needs to have an excellent game. Caden Curry is good and has to be and he has a big motor, and he never quits. And I like him in the Rushman packages, but if he's going to surpass Sawyer, because Sawyer isn't getting it done, now's the time to do that. Now's the time to make that change. I love Sawyer. He's an Ohio kid. He's a 5-star, but you got to produce, and I just haven't seen it, and I don't know, are our expectations too high, or are these just unmet expectations because we're not getting the kind of production that we believe needs to happen at that position. So, again, I'm not attacking the kid. I like him a lot. I'm hoping he turns it on and has a big year and ends up being a first-round pick and all of that stuff. But if it's not going to happen, we need to get somebody in there that can, and I think Caden Curry is the guy to push him. And if it's not now, when, as far as my concern for Caden Curry, like he's starter adjacent, he's in on the Rushman packages. He just always seems to be pushing and finding the ball. So I think that kind of summarizes that. So I am watching Jack Sawyer. Overall, I expect Ohio State to put this away by halftime, but we'll see. The running clock does change things, so maybe YSU tries to play a little bit of keep away to slow down the scoring and the number of possessions. We'll see, how effective they are at that. Regardless of anything else, I'm really glad football's back. I'm beyond ready to have another game to digest and break down. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about how a 20-point road conference win not being good enough for some of our fan base. And then a really odd note that the officials admitted they blew the call where Marvin Harrison got pushed out of bounds, came back in and caught the touchdown. It should have been a touchdown because he was forced out, and they messed that up. So really, if you look at it, then it makes the score 27-3, and McCord has a touchdown and a few more passing yards, and Marvin Harrison has a little bit of a bigger day, and that makes that day look a whole lot different. But again, they're not going to give us that. It's not going to go back and rewrite the history books. But hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better, because that was a great throw from the far hash into the far corner of the end zone. Anyways, enjoy the game tomorrow, guys. I'll see if you see me. I'll see you there. If you're not there, it's going to be a beautiful fall day. I hope you guys get a chance to watch the game, enjoy the game, just enjoy the Buckeyes, just enjoy that they're back. We waited a long, long off season after the Peach Bowl loss, so all I can say is let's go Bucks. And that's going to do it for me today, I think, on this Buckeye Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there. Thanks for listening. Have a great game day. And as always, I'll see ya. Go Bucks.